Welcome to part 2 of my mini-series talking about Pathfinder insertion techniques. Part 1 talked about mobility operations, and now part 2 I'll be talking about military freefall.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. What I'm going to be talking about today is one of the main insertion techniques employed by the Pathfinders, and that is military freefall. So during my time in the Pathfinders, we basically used military freefall to insert covertly. So there's two main parts to it. First one's HALO, high altitude low opening, which is freefall, and the second method is HAHO, which is high altitude high opening. That's where you're on a static line, parachutes open straight away and you glide towards your target. So we jumped from 25,000 feet on oxygen at night with massive rucksacks full of all our gear that we needed for at least 7 days in the field, including all your patrol gear such as radios, med kit, OP kit, DZ marking kit, all that sort of stuff. So a lot of gear. And what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to do a military freefall jump here out in the States. But first what I'm going to do is talk about some of the equipment that you need to carry out one of these types of operations. Okay, first thing, going from right to left as you're looking then. An altimeter. Obviously super important. This is a digital version. You get analog versions too. You zero it before you jump, and if you're jumping at a different height, you know, if you're taking off from one area and landing in another area, as you would do on an operation, you may have to offset that depending on the altitude difference. Okay, gloves. No matter what the weather's doing, you wear gloves. I mean, it gives you protection from the elements, because jumping at high altitude, say 25,000 feet, it's going to be very cold, so you need to protect your extremities. But also, what these do is they protect your hands from things like nylon burns on the lines and stuff like that. So it's protection as well as element protection. Goggles. So when you're in free fall, you're going to be traveling at least 120 miles an hour, if not faster, with equipment. So to protect your eyes, to make sure you can actually see, you need to be wearing goggles. Okay, head protection. So you need to be wearing your normal ballistic helmet that's going to be compatible with an oxygen system. I won't be jumping with oxygen today. We're only going from 14,000 feet. But if you go much higher than that, you will be wearing oxygen in conjunction with your helmet. Obviously, this needs to be well fitted to you so it doesn't shake around all over the place. And if you're jumping at night, then you'd have night vision goggles on too. Okay, the main thing then is your parachute. Now, this is my own personal parachute, but it is big enough to be able to do a free fall today with equipment. In the parachute then, you've got a reserve here and a main here. So it's a piggyback system. On the front of the harness then, what you've got is two handles. That's your cutaway pad, that's your reserve pad. So if you have a problem with the main, after you pull the main, then you cut away and pull your reserve. On the side of the parachute harness then, you'll have your personal weapon. So I'll have this strapped to the side of my body under my armpit like so. And basically you can jump with anything up to GPMG size. So that's 24 pounds worth of iron strapped to the left of your body. And I have jumped with that quite a bit. Last thing then is your equipment. And what I've got here then is a Crossfire CF4 Rucksack. This is a perfect rucksack for jumping when you're doing military freefall or static line jumping, because it's got a hard frame on it. Then it remains nice and rigid, and it's a perfect sort of size package to get all your gear in for at least 7 days out in the field. Now this has got the equipment straps around it to enable me to jump with. That's actually compressed this pack down quite a bit, but it's you know, it's a decent size. It's a realistic size to jump with on a relatively long enduring operation. And inside this, I'd also have my belt kit at the top of the rucksack, ready to pull out. So as soon as I land, I get my fighting order on, chuck my ruck on my back, and then off onto the patrol to whatever task I might be doing. Right then, some considerations when you're carrying out military freefall, HALO and HAHO. You can't just go and do this. You couldn't even just do an AFF, a civilian AFF course, and then strap a rucksack to yourself and think you're going to be okay. The military puts you, if you're in an elite unit, and there's only certain units get to do this, very, very few people get to do this in the UK. Then you get sent on what's called a high altitude parachute course, and you actually conduct your HAHO training there. So you learn to skydive, then you get to jump with a military parachute, then you jump with a parachute plus a rucksack, then they stick a weapon on, then you go up to 25,000 feet and do it all over again with oxygen on, and then you do it all over again at night onto an unlit DZ drop zone. So that's the pinnacle of basically the course. It's around 50 odd jumps, and by the end of that course then you can actually parachute from 25,000 feet at night with equipment, weapons, oxygen, as a patrol, whether that's a 6-man patrol or a bigger patrol, and all land together on an objective, you know, and then you RV from there and move off to your task. So whilst I was in Pathfinders, I did this lots. We jumped onto exercises all around the world, all around the UK, overseas, and it was absolutely amazing. So the HAHO side of it, so that's where you jump out and the parachute opens straight away at 25,000 feet. That's used so that the aircraft doesn't even have to fly anywhere near enemy territory. You can literally exit the aircraft, parachutes open, and then turn left or right, depending on where the target is, and then you basically glide towards the target. And that was pretty amazing. I've done quite a lot of that too, and that's, you know, it's freezing cold because you're up there for a long time. I actually got frost nip on my face once in a little bit of exposed skin, but it's an amazing technique to travel long distances. So that's HAHO. So that's the different types of military freefall. What I'm going to do next then is I'm going to get all this gear on, get on the aircraft, and actually give you a quick demonstration of what it's like to do a military freefall stroke HALO jump. Right then guys, so that was just a quick interest video there, talking through and showing you some stuff that's included with military freefall techniques that's used by Pathfinders in the UK and by SF units in lots of countries around the world. I love this shit, I've got to say. I've been doing this a long time, I still love it. Jumping out of planes, I mean, especially with equipment and stuff, it's just, you know, it's alley, isn't it? Anybody out there, has anyone out there watching this, have you done anything like this? Have you done your military freefall course? How do you find it? Do you like jumping with a pack, or do you find it a little bit challenging? Because I know a lot of people do. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, really appreciate your support, those that are members of the channel, and as always, stay prepared.
And a big shout out to all the members that are supporting my channel. Much appreciated. Thanks guys.